First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the divine mother, the divine primordial mother, also known as the primordial creator, who has 10,000 names, 10,000 titles, and want to say, give thanks to you and give thanks to all the ancestral spirits of creation, and also give thanks to all the archangels, the angels. Want to give thanks to their ancestors. Want to give thanks to the ancestral realm, the ancestral abode. Want to give thanks to all of the ancestors and all of the people that we have lost along the way on this journey that made a serious impact in our lives. I want to give a shout out to all of you. I want to give a shout out to everybody that's been tuning in on the channel and those that been tuning on the channel not saying anything and that's actually putting up a lot of information from this channel. I want to say thanks to all of you, and we humbly appreciate it. But sometimes it don't hurt to at least give a person a shout out. Well, our channel shout out with everybody that's sending information. Shout out to all of the mods. Shout out to everybody, and I want to say thank you to all of everybody. And their primordial mother, please send blessings to those that are mods that are actually being positive and making a positive impact in people's lives. And most of all, protect the mods that are positive and that's making an impact from those that are claiming to be spiritual and they are not. They're actually wolves in sheep's clothing. And also protect them from anybody that's doing anything that's dealing with evil practices to harm them. Protect them, guide them, for they need your comfort and they need your divine love. I share you, Bobo. Let's go. All right. This is a quick live, right? And I really want to say something in my Rick James voice. In my Rick James voice. You got a lot of people that talk about that made fun of your little big brother, and I laugh at them, because I never said that the ancestors going to get you. And at the same time, I also want to say how people go on the smaller platforms and take information, and they're inspired by people on smaller platforms, and they take the information and they put it on their bigger platforms. Creativity and originality is on an all-time low, it seems like. If you gotta take, peace, how you doing, beloved? If you gotta take from other platforms that's smaller than yours just to have credibility, then we have a problem with your creativity and your originality. And at the same time, I want to get into talking about those that make fun of somebody that actually get real downloads and that really do talk and have conversations with certain things. You know what I'm saying? Supreme Grand Rising to you, my beloved brother. It's at the point that you got too many people on the YouTube streets that are plotting and taking information from others and then try to act like others and they're not being themselves. I understand and I overstand that you might look up to that individual and you idolize them and you want to be like them. But I got a word of advice: you're not them. Be your own person. And if you can't be your own person, then why be on YouTube? I don't care about algorithms and none of that stuff, because it's not about being YouTube famous and being a YouTube celebrity. It's not all about getting all the likes and stuff like that. It's about really sending a message. For these last 5 years, been going through a lot of turmoil, a lot of crazy nonsense. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of the mods know what I'm talking about. And I've been going through this stuff for years. No, I'm nowhere near mad. Trust me, I'm humble. That's what I will say. I'm very humble. It's just the simple fact is, when you don't have creativity or originality, you gotta take from people from smaller platforms. I see why a lot of the bigger people go into what they call why they go ahead on what they call it Patreon. I see why they do it. I appreciate you, beloved. See, this is why this is what I'm talking about. You have people that come on here that say all this negativity, but we know where they come from. And you got people on YouTube that want to copy, emulate, imitate, but can't create. They want to duplicate, but can't create. Many, not all. It's legions of y'all. Legions of y'all. And y'all all are part of a certain society of YouTubers. Y'all are part of a real secret society of YouTubers. And y'all keep it amongst each other. And y'all go on each other's channels and give each other shout outs. But when it comes down to it, you copy off of everybody else. And that's really funny. And I'm starting to see that YouTube have a lot of little secret brotherhoods and sisterhoods. You know what I'm saying? And I'm starting to question a lot of people that claim to be aware and conscious. But before I get into how I feel, I want to give a shout out to and rest in power to Dolores Cannon, Brother Panic, Dick Gregory, many others that's now ancestors. I want to just say that because I feel like it's time. See, on this channel of ours, this is what we do. We don't have time for foolishness and buffoonery. Okay. When we talk about spirituality, we mean it. When we get downloads, we actually do get them. When we come up across messages, we do get them. And also the mods, they're also hands down, they also included on this because this is our channel. They know I don't like saying my channel. This is our channel. And they have information too. And I'm going to tell you like this. Pretty soon, I'm not going to be on this platform talking. You're going to see a lot of the mods coming up on here talking. And this is not, I'm just not saying this. Y'all don't understand and understand what's about to happen. Now, back to the matter at hand. This quick live is about how you got people that will make fun of somebody that get downloads, real downloads, that will sun gaze and do all the above and make fun of it. But yet, you get your information from TikTok. I get the information from TikTok because it's confirming the stuff that I be talking about on our channel. See, that's the difference between bringing confirmation and bringing forth regurgitation. You get what I'm saying? There's a difference. You cannot say that you serve the Most High when you don't acknowledge the Most High being a she. Let me say that again. You can't say that you are fully into serving the Most High when you call the Most High he instead of she. Let me see if I have my let me get my tartar bush or feathers so y'all can see what I mean. So bear with me. I'm about to go up the steps right now. Okay. So it's like, let's see if I can find where I put my tartar bush in my and everything, because I try to put everything in a place where I can find it. Because I want y'all to understand what I mean by that. Because I'm trying to see where did I put my stuff at? I really want y'all to understand that. I'm trying to remember that. Where did I put my tartar bush at? Let me see. Y'all got to bear with me because I be putting stuff up all over the place. I got to work on being more organized in my house because I have so much stuff, so many books. Like, let me show you the books that I have. All y'all be like, oh, he a Mason. I have this. Let's Set the Record Straight by Dr. Malachi York. This Masonic book is not mine. This is somebody else's. Hey, Brother Pisces the King, you know who this is? You know what Masonic book this is? This is DC's Masonic book. This is Masonic book. This is DC's Masonic book. And you see he put the X's and everything in there. He just didn't put his name on it. He made sure he put his name on it so he can cover it up. But anyway, that's his Masonic book he left. This is a good book to get to. The Book of Light by Dr. Malachi York. It has a book, it has prayers in it, and so on. So I'm going to use that. All You Shriners, the Ratib by Dr. Malachi York. And this right here. So I'm trying to figure out where the heck I put my Tartar Bouchette. I'm trying to remember, y'all. This is crazy because I try to remember where I put everything at, and I'll be forgetting. I guess because I'm getting older. But anyway, in the Tartar bush, or the fez, that's what we call it. There's the umbilical cord. Hold on. There's the umbilical cord. There's the there is the top and the bottom that symbolizes 360 degrees physical and spiritual. Normally I have everything, but see, I gotta straighten up this room. This is the room I'm gonna be laying in. This is my room in my house. So I got so much stuff in here. It don't make any sense. But I'm gonna find it. I'll find it later because I'm supposed to be doing a live later. So I'm gonna try to go ahead. Let's go ahead and get into details. The Tartar bush, known as the fez, that has a lot of significant meaning. 360 degrees physical, 360 degrees spiritual. Okay? When we say all praise is the Most High, we're really talking about the Divine Mother over here. Because we done did videos about the Vesica Pisces. Also want to give a shout out to Tiffany Jakes. Shout out to you. Beloved Tiffany was a very instrumental, important component on this journey. Spoke to her the other day, and y'all saying, who's she? Somebody that's really, really, really close. But back to the matter at hand. We got too many people that try to copy and emulate and want to try to do this and do that and say this and say that. The whole conscious movement have been infiltrated by so many different agents on YouTube and also doing these lectures. You have people that's pimping the people, hustling the people, and the people are getting caught in the middle of it, thinking that this person or these persons have the answers and the keys. And all they're trying to do is make a buck of getting from you. And it's sad because we have people that really want to learn this. But we have too many legions of agents in this so-called conscious thing. And I hate using the word conscious, but I want to say the aware movement. When there's people that's really knowing that they're not from this plane. You got people that really know they're not, they can tell they're not from this plane, and they don't have time for that negative energy. And then you got people that claim to be not from this plane, but they want to bring the smoke. And don't realize that the smoke comes from fire. And you don't want to get with the fire because you'll burn yourself. You cannot play with consciousness or awareness and think it's a joke. You can't say, oh, I'm getting downloads, and you're not. You can't say, oh, screw the ancestors, but yet you're going to an ancestor giving offerings to them. You can't do stuff like that in this. You can't do that, because when you say stuff like that, You're also dealing with your etherical plasmic cord to that ancestor. We gotta watch what we say, and I'm not saying we over here. People gotta watch what they say before talking. You can't have diarrhea of the mouth and then go back on your words. What we are now living in, we're living in a world where people are so hypocritical, and they don't realize it, and then they'll try to make it seem like they never said it, and then they'll play the role and make it seem like they are actually who they say they are, and when in actuality they're not. You got people that think they're high and mighty and above everybody else when they're not. See, we got to realize the reality that we're in. We're in the falseness of what they call reality, the falsehood, the false illustrations. When they say that they are this and that in front of the camera, behind closed doors, they're not the same individual. They're using the camera as cosplay. Meaning, they'll play like they're so spiritual and so this and so that. But in actuality, seeing the camera go off, they your average Joe Schmo or Becky Sue or whoever, Taniqua and all of that. They're not who they say they are. I want to give another shout out to Life Have No Niche. She did a live and let it be known that she is a part of a particular group of people. The Gullah Geechee people. Shout out to her. You know what I'm saying? Because she's a part of the bloodline of those that were the Maroons, that were also connected to Haiti and connected to the Caribbean, connected to the brothers and sisters over here that was fighting the colonizers. A lot of us came from that. But back to the matter at hand, we got too many of y'all claim to be aware, but not really aware. And y'all playing the role like you're so aware, but in actuality, you're quick to put your fists up at a Black Lives Matter movement, which is actually bought and was actually paid and funded by George Soros. You claim that you're for the people and by the people, but when in actuality, you're not for the people, you're for self-gain. Then you look at yourself above everybody, and I'm talking about the ones that's playing the role, that's cosplaying, and it's a shame. Because there's people that really do the work, that really do get downloads, that really do talk to the ancestors, that the ancestors really do talk to them. And then when they get the downloads, they talk about the weathers, what's going on with the weather, how the weather is actually going through a transformation, and how Gaia is really raging. You got people that can actually feel and notice. And they only use books and videos to back up what they're saying. They don't need to regurgitate nothing. They don't need to copy off of nobody. They are original. And they will get the real people that are original like them to be with them on this journey, because the simple fact is they know that person is real, and they're not faking the so-called funk along the way. And see, this is not no aiming or taking shots at nobody, but it's the simple fact things need to come out. I was told by someone very dear, and she said, honey, don't stop. I'm with you. Keep saying what you got to say about these people. She said, because they need to hear it, and the people need to hear it, about the false claims, the falsehoods, and all this other ish. You're playing with fire. And you're playing with the smoke. You're not playing with the flame. You're playing with the smoke. Eventually, the smoke is going to start intensifying, where it's going to turn into the flame, and you will get burnt. See, A lot of people that your little big brother had took under his wing, I took them under my wing for years, and I told them what books to read and so on, to start seeing through the matrix and seeing how people work and operate. You know, one of the books I told somebody to check out years ago was the book called The Prince by Machiavelli. The Prince by Machiavelli. The Art of War by Sun Tzu. And I told people to get the book How to Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Rich Dad Poor Dad is another book I tell people to read. You know, these books is like The Art of War, Machiavelli, The Prince, How to Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad Poor Dad. You notice that those 4 books work hand in hand on what's going on, even in the spiritual world. And I tell people to also get this book called The Right Use of Will. The Right Use of Will. Another book I also recommend, I keep telling everybody, get the Kabbalistic Encyclopedia. Then get the Greater Keys of Solomon, not the Lesser Keys, the Greater Keys of Solomon. See, I'm balancing everything out because you need to know about the Art of War, right? The Prince by Machiavelli, how they formulate and create governments. Then you have How to Think and Grow Rich. Then Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? And then I spoke on, see, it's so many books. I can't remember the other book. I mean, it's stuff that I'm sharing with many that's watching. Reading is fundamental. It's about educating your mind, feeding your mind, brain food. Food for thought. To really know the manipulative tactics of those people, you also have to read the 48 Laws of Power. And then Robert Greene and Curtis Jackson's book, The 50th Law. You have to see how people really be thinking. These people that are having, there's a lot of people that's manipulating and very manipulative on YouTube, that's using spirituality and all that. A lot of times they heard of these books, y'all. Someone read them. Look, you have to know that those that are your enemies come from your inner me, which is what? A reflection of your ego. They get possessed by that spirit of the ego, and then they start reflecting in front of you. But if you are strong spiritually, your ego cannot get the best of you, and you can't get possessed by it, which means you know how to check the ego. But a lot of times, these people cannot check the ego because why? They let the ego take over. And a lot of times they destiny swap and try to destiny swap with those that are highly spiritual than them. And they're jealous of those people that are spiritually involved because they have something that they don't have. A soul, a spirit, a true calling. Not a fake calling, but a true calling. There's a difference. The true people that heard the call, they have, how can I put it? They have a lot of enemies that have jealousy amongst on them, and they try to come after them and be made fun of because they don't want the messenger to give out the message to the one that need to receive it, or may I say the receiver. That's the thing. The receiver, the whole time they're waiting for the messenger to give the message. But when the quarterback who's passing to the receiver, which is the messenger, because if we're going to use this analogy, let's use it as a football game. The messenger is the quarterback. The receiver is the wide receiver, or the person that catches the information. And they run to the touchdown. You know what the touchdown is? That is more light, which is more information, more knowledge to help them on their journey. That is points being gained to raise up the consciousness of the individual or individuals. All because of that one receiver catching the message from the quarterback, which is the messenger. And what you have the defense, the DBs, the defensive linemen. They are your archons. They are your agents trying to stop the quarterback. The running back is another analogy of the quarterback, because he stands behind the quarterback, and when the ball is given to him, the running back, he has to run with that message to the touchdown, to give the knowledge to who may need it. So you got the DBs, the linebackers, you have the defensive linemen trying to stop the knowledge from coming, which are the archons, which are the agents. And their job is to take what? The knowledge that you have, or that y'all have, so others can't get it, but they can take it to score when they take an interception, or when there's a fumble, or when there's a sack, or when there's a tackle. You see the analogy there? The archons know if they can stop the message, they can score for themselves. And it's about the hunger of the win, the adrenaline of winning, the adrenaline of keeping the message from being put out there. They get the adrenaline rush to keep that knowledge. The defensive people do. So the real people don't receive the knowledge from the quarterback, the receiver, and the running back. It's been going back and forth for eons, though, what people don't even know. And the archons incarnate into the physical body, which you call now the fallen ones, that are actually on YouTube right now, who more likely they regurgitate and they huddle around each other because the agents need each other. And they figure out, how can we stop this message from coming out? How can we stop any information that come into the masses? How can we stop and give our own breakdown, our own analogies, our own thoughts, our own anything to stop this and have it in our own way of in our own wording for people to understand our way, our perspective, and have people look at us as the God, us as the gods, us as the one be all. One all be all. See, this is what people don't understand. This has been an ongoing fight for a long time. It went from yesteryear, the ancient times when it was infiltrated, to the modern day. Mother Shirley, how are you? To the modern day. We got too many people out here taking and using ancient information, they claim, and charging an arm and a leg for it, when the knowledge is supposed to be free. The knowledge is supposed to be free, not being purchased. What they need to understand is that the people that you're keeping it from and you're causing an arm and a leg, you don't even know if that person is a divine being that was sent here incarnated to do a lot of healing. Also, you don't even know if that person is going to be a high priestess or priest or not. You don't know, but you're keeping them from expanding. You archons, you evil demonic beings that try to keep things away from the masses because you want to be YouTube famous. And you make fun of people that really get downloads, that really do have a connection to the divine, and you lie to the people and say that you do. We already know that one person that had the connection does not mean that everybody don't have a connection. So you got your whole goddamn going breakdown all screwed up because you don't know a goddamn thing about spirituality or consciousness or awareness. You just regurgitate over and over again and take it from small platforms to make it seem like you know, and then you use TikTok as your reliable source. You don't have a reliable source when it comes down to book knowledge that you have read that also that connects to what you already know to help others on their journey. So you'll use TikTok as you all know on all that other shit because you don't want people to really know that you don't know nothing. So you'll go into other smaller platforms, take what you want, then you'll then you'll put it on your channels and say, see, brothers and sisters, everything I've been saying is true, knowing damn well you haven't said nothing like that at all. Many people don't want to give acknowledgement to those that have more light. What do I mean? More light means more knowledge. When you got people saying, I'm with the light, what light are you truly with? Because you know that was an amber light, which is the false light. You know that, right? Or you're part of the light that came from out the darkness to bring forth the knowledge into the light. Which one are you? See, nobody don't want to talk about this. They want to say that they light, but there's a such thing as false light. See, when you go into that false light, you'll have some truth, but you don't have the truth. You have the false light to have some truth to lure the people in to drain their energy, to drain their power, to drain the etheric plasma from them. You'll mention fear-mongering, and you'll use so-called biblical scripture, which has come from Biblios. Biblios come from the ancient teaching and the ancient practices of the priestesses of Mami Wata, to be honest. Because people don't know that the Vatican hijacked the priestesses of Mami Wata's scriptures and everything, teachings and everything. Look it up. That's why they're using Santerios and voodoo priestesses in their rites of passage and practices to home in on that energy, because they know who the originals are. Many of you say, "Oh, that's witchcraft and all of that." Let me tell you something. If it's so much witchcraft, you know, affirmations is a form of witchcraft too, right? It's a craft that comes from that, and also deal with the wit, which is a part of the craft, which is a scientifical what? A spiritual scientific breakdown on how to call upon the unseen and visualizing it and saying it to yourself over and over again, because using the vibrational tone, which is connected to the heart, the throat, the crown. But what they don't tell you, that the crown is the original heart. You had to put all of them to connect with one another in one particular alignment, to speak things into existence, which is dealing with what you call the law of attraction. That's also a part of witchcraft, because you know what you're doing? You're bending this realm, the spirit realm, and the elements to bring things into manifestation. It proves that those that say, I'm going to do an affirmation, man, bash, forget the witchcraft, but you're practicing witchcraft. You're bending the elements of this realm, the spirit realm, and also you're trying to make it come into visualization to manifest in the material realm. That's a form of witchcraft too. Oh my goodness. This is something that a lot of people that claim to be aware speak about and say, oh, I'm going to do affirmations. You're trying to speed up the process of your blessings, not blessings, but blessings, so they can come to you faster, so you can align yourself with it in the spirit realm or the etheric realm, and you're bending the elements. How? When you're saying affirmations, don't you know when you speak, isn't that air or oxygen? Isn't that one of the elements? When you put in thoughts in the atmosphere, doesn't that connect with the unseen and also the realm of the air? Because it's a signal going directly to the cosmos. Isn't the cosmos connected to the material realm too? See, we got to start looking at, isn't the cosmos also connected to water? When you're speaking the affirmations, don't a little bit of saliva come out? Isn't that like a form of water? You're bending the elements. That's a form of witchcraft. So when you're saying, when you got people saying all stuff against witches and warlocks, but guess what? You're a warlock yourself by using affirmations. Wow. Just saying. Make you want to think about stuff, don't it? What people don't know, this is all ancient practices. They call it New Age. No, it's actually the original Golden Age. It came from out that. Because you're dealing with the etheric body connecting with the multiverses of itself to bring it into the material realm. And this particular what is it? This particular verse, or may I say this particular version of yourself. So nobody want to talk about that. See, nobody want to talk about the affirmations and all of that. They don't want to get into all of that. This is not, no, I'm telling y'all, this is not no chance. It's just stuff that's coming to me that need to be said, because you got too many people that think they know but don't know shit. They want to sound intelligent, but don't really want to tell the truth. It's too many people that want to be these top gurus. Look, truth be told, I'm learning like you all are learning. But when downloads come, they come. When stuff is being said, they're being said. I'm not the only one that can do it. You all can do it too once you tap in. It's dealing with the intuition and so on. All of us have a divine connection to the divine herself, even down to the ones that fell. Even down to the ones that fell. That's why they have a spark of light in them. And that turns into the false light. Right? You follow me? This is the funny part. They'll turn that false light into thinking it having, and hold up, they'll turn that false light to make it seem like it's the real light, and it's not. They are ones of the amber light. There's a movie that I recommend, right? The movie called Gabriel. I recommend you watch that movie. The type of light in that movie was dealing with their eyes, the color of their eyes. Gabriel had the color eyes for Gabriel was blue. Blue is connected to the water. Gabriel is connected to the moon. Don't believe me? Look it up. He was dealing with the moon. That's why I told you I'll get the Kabbalistic Encyclopedia. I had to think about it. That's why I'm looking away. I gotta think about the stuff that I'm saying because I can't remember a lot of stuff. The Kabbalistic Encyclopedia has everything that you need to know. Okay? Zodiac signs, everything. In the movie Gabriel, all of the fallen angels had the eyes of amber. One particular angel had eyes of pure white. And that was Michael, who you call Michael. In the movie, Michael killed off Satan, and he was ruling Earth or Purgatory, whatever you want to call the planet, whatever. He was ruling, and he had the fallen angels working for him. And what happened at the end of that movie, Jabril, well, not the end, he came across, Jabril came across another angel. This angel fought Samael, but lost, and that angel became a prostitute. What happened, Jabril came across that angel and healed her. She wound up being on drugs and everything. Healed her, and they wound up intermingling. And when he healed her, he told her that he had to go have the final showdown. When Jabril went to find out who this angel was, he found out that the angel was actually Michael. And Jabril had to fight Michael. And when Michael killed Jabril, Michael took his heart and put his heart into Jabril, and they became one. But what happened, Jabril didn't want that power, and he fell down from the building. But when he did that, it brought peace and restored the darkness back into being light and vegetation on that particular plane. That's why I recommend y'all watch that, how it has a whole scientific breakdown of falling and all that other stuff in it. And also the amber light, which is the false light that these archons carry. That's why they say you can look at a person's weakness and look at them in their eyes and tell who they really are, if they're sincere and everything. That's why you have people that wear shades, because they want to hide themselves. They don't want to show you the real selves, who they really are. So they hide behind the shades. Sometimes the ones that hide behind the shades don't want to show who they really are because they are also being attacked and so on. But you got the archons, who are the fallen ones, that wear them because they don't want you to know who the hell they really are. They don't want you to know that they are causing the chaos and confusion. They don't want you to know that they're the ones that actually are doing what they're doing to do this to the people. You understand? And it's a shame because we're living in the times where Gaia, Tiamat, is going through a lot of havoc. And Mother Shelley, I want to let you know that there's a flood that's been flooding that's happening in Washington State. Washington State is getting flooding. Parts of Washington State is getting flooded. Also, there was a 7.6 earthquake in Japan. And a 10-foot tsunami that happened in Japan, but they're not talking about that on the national news media like that, if I'm not mistaken. So I just want to let y'all know, be careful of these people out here that claim to be this and claim to be that. Over here, we don't even say any of that stuff. We over here, we humble over here. All the mods have spiritual gifts on this channel. Y'all don't talk to them. If you want to talk to me in the chat and everything, even though it's not that many people on here, I'm just saying, people need to really understand and understand and understand what's going on. I'm telling you, there's going to come a time that YouTube is going to get shut off because people are not talking about the indictments that Google was under too. That's why there's going to be other platforms that people are going to start going to. Twitch, Rumble, Telegram, and others. I'm saying this to prepare those that are on this channel. Eventually, those particular those particular media social media outlets, that's where this channel going to be at. All of those. I gotta make a Twitch account this weekend for us. And honestly, those that are mods that I talk to outside of YouTube, they're gonna have full access to that, and they're gonna be helping managing that. So I'm gonna do it probably this weekend, if not next weekend. So bear with me, because I already got the Rumble channel made for the brothers and yours truly. That's already been done. The YouTube channel also has been done. I just gotta give them the password, and that's it. That's all been done already. So once everybody get the password, game over. But otherwise, I want to let y'all know, be careful and be leery about these people. Use discernment on these beings, because they are trying their best to absorb all the energy and all of the ethereal plasma that they can get from you. They feed off your fear, which is also connected to your ethereal plasma, your etheric energy. That's why it's important to create an auric field. One day I'll go over how you can create one. All right, I'm out of here. On that note, love all of you. Love, peace, light, darkness, which brings supreme balancement, which is the yin and the yang, which is the divine feminine and masculine, to bring forth supreme balance. It is your little big brother, Nega Dazo. I just want to do a quick live to let everybody know, be careful with these goddamn people out here. They be saying a lot of false shit and all this other stuff. Love all of you. May the great mother, aka the primary creator, protect you and yours. And keep in mind, all of you have that bit of divine in you, even y'all fallen mofos. You came and fell down here because you have to change your ways and start acknowledging her, and stop calling her him. Because if you don't, your light gonna still and always will remain dim, and your chance is gonna be slim. I just thought I would have to drop that one gem. But y'all not getting what I'm saying. I'm talking about y'all, that y'all archons, because y'all got a job to do. All right, on that note, I'm out. Peace.